I can't believe I'm actually excited for a Ubisoft game. Of course, I'm talking about AC Resynced, the Black Flag remake coming out this July. It has been a long time since I've been excited, genuinely excited, for a Ubisoft game. In this video, I'd like to talk about how AC Resynced might be a chance for Ubisoft to gain some reputation, how Ubisoft has really struggled over the years, and how we still need to have some cautious optimism about what comes in the future. Out of the gate, it is the music that literally is giving me chills remembering what it was like to play the original. Let's just take a minute. Doesn't that feel sweet nostalgic, man? Oh, I love it. So let's actually talk about what I'm really excited for here. So the game looks phenomenal. I mean, when we look at the graphics they show, they actually had a comparison of the remake versus the original. It's night and day. It really shows you how far we've come since the original game released. It's a gorgeous game. I think graphics is one thing Ubisoft always seems to get right. They do have very impressive tech with their open worlds. Also, did you hear that?
Rebuilt from the ground up with the latest Anvil engine.
The Anvil engine. Let's go! You probably didn't see my video on custom engines. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't. That tells you why I'm excited. Long story short, I'm glad this isn't another Unreal Engine slop game. They're getting rid of those tailing missions, which you might not remember how annoying that was. I do. How could I forget? They are terrible, dude. It's like half the fucking game, man. You're just following someone, and if you get too far away and your camera loses track of them, you just fail the mission. It's like, what the hell? It's really annoying. I'm so glad they're just pitching that shit. I mean, it looks like you still like follow someone, but if they see you, it's like whatever. It's just combat. You just loot the note off of their body. Thank God. No loading screens when we're going into cities, which is awesome. Thank God. I mean, that's kind of expected nowadays in 2026, you know, for there to be no loading screens. But it is really cool. You can just sail the open ocean, super big open world here, and then just go right into a city hub, get off your ship, and there's no loading screen in between like the original. Those of us that try to be Bethesda fans probably notice no loading screens more than anybody else. It sucks over here with God Howard. So being able to crouch, like with stealth, is hilariously, like, has me excited. Like, being able to crouch, even going back to, like, Assassin's Creed 2, like, the Ezio trilogy, literally the entire damn series. No, I know you can crouch now, but the entire series could have benefited from crouching. I don't know why it took them, like, a decade to do it. Just thank God it's in this game. The combat looks really good to me. I think I've seen some people kind of harken on it. To me, it looks really fabulous. It looks fluid as all hell. You know, you have like different abilities you can basically combo together. It looks like it has that like tank feeling from the original game. And by tank, I just mean where you can annihilate a fucking army just with Edward himself. It looks like you can still do that, but it's just more like modern mechanics and fluid animations and that kind of stuff to it. And in the trailers, they don't show blood. There is blood. We can enable it in the settings. So looking good on this department. Of course, the naval combat is also looking fabulous as ever. The naval combat on the original game actually still holds up really, really well. I would say the original game does not hold up in all areas. Naval combat, it most certainly does. And it looks like this version is just a bit more polished. They said there's like a few new weapon types that you can shoot and whatnot, but overall it looks very similar to the original, and that's a huge plus to me. Let's go. This one's really minor, but there's a new animation of Edward swinging off of his ship onto the other ship that he's currently like pirating, and as he lets go of the rope, he does like an in-air assassination, which is sick. That, oh yeah, that has me hyped. The new officers being introduced could be kind of cool. I wasn't in the original game. It could make the new one interesting though. I'm basically neutral on this one. I don't hate that it's there. I don't love that it's there. So now that I got some of my excitement out, let's go ahead and talk about Ubisoft over the past decade or so and how they have not been doing too great. I figured let's just talk about some of the games the past decade, give or take, that have kind of just tanked their reputation. First one I can think of is Watch Dogs. I personally enjoyed that game. It was a good time, but do you guys remember the E3 trailer? The E3 trailer had these really good graphics for Watch Dogs. Everyone was like really hyped about it. And then when the game actually came out, it was like a massive graphical downgrade. And for me personally, there might have been things before this, but it was one of the first things that I remembered where it kind of like my own trust was lost in Ubisoft after that. It was financially a big hit, but reputation goes a long way, and that's where it started to go downhill for me. Assassin's Creed Unity. So we're talking about Assassin's Creed here. Unity had a god-awful launch. To this day, it's probably still the worst Assassin's Creed launch that I'm aware of. I don't really remember any of their other Assassin's Creed launches being as terrible as Unity was. It's a major reason why I didn't play Unity until years later. And even after Unity was fixed and it was more stable, I did not love that game. Assassin's Creed Unity does have a strong fan base. Some people really like it. The parkour was phenomenal. Make no mistake there. But outside of that, it just wasn't really my cup of tea. I don't think it was a lot of other people's cup of tea. It's just kind of a meh entry, and it was once again another hit to their reputation. The overall Ubisoft formula that kind of emerged from, say maybe 2018 to the 2020s, give or take some. Think of Far Cry, think of Assassin's Creed, other entries they tried. I mean, hell, we talked about Watch Dogs. That's another one that fits this, where you have a tower. You go climb tower. You unlock part of map. Map loads with a gazillion different icons, a lot of them just being collectible notes. Some of the icons that load is some kind of enemy base, enemy faction that you need to take out. Once you take out that enemy base, enemy faction, then that part of the map becomes good. I don't dislike these mechanics. I actually kind of like this part of a Ubisoft game, to be honest. But when it's in every single entry, every single game that they make, it does start to get old. And I think that happened for a lot of us. It's like we played Far Cry 3, which means we played part of Far Cry 4. Every series just kind of doing the same thing where they kind of just updated graphics or maybe added one new mechanic, if that. A lot of the time it really was just graphics in a different environment. And so I think a lot of us, we just kind of started getting tired of this Ubisoft formula where there's just a gazillion icons on the map and a lot of collectibles. It's kind of, what do they say? As wide as an ocean, as deep as a puddle. That is Ubisoft games in a nutshell. Next game that comes to mind is more recent. It's Star Wars Outlaws. The CEO said the game failed because of declining interest in Star Wars, which, to be fair, is probably kind of true. I know I personally am not excited for Star Wars as much as I once was. Thank you, Disney. I really appreciate you destroying childhood things I love. I love it. Outside of the Star Wars thing, I think the game just did not. It was more Ubisoft crap. More Ubisoft open world. I mean, the graphics looked good, but out of the footage I've seen for it, I mean, I'm kind of a good example. I've bought a lot of Ubisoft games over the years. I love Star Wars. I had no interest in Star Wars Outlaws at all. Star Wars Theory, one of the biggest channels for Star Wars, you guys might have heard of him. He said this, and I quote, about Star Wars Outlaws. The game overall was probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my life.
The game overall was probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my life.
Dude, that's brutal. So when I see stuff like that online about the new Star Wars game that Ubisoft made, yeah, I had no interest in playing it. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching didn't either. It looks like the budget was around 150 million and they lost money on it, so it just was not a success for them. Of course, the grand finale of Ubisoft failures that I can think of is Skull and Bones. I don't actually know anybody who played this, in real life at all. I'm convinced only bots played this game. Skull and Bones just had a really troubled development history. I mean, it was in development for over a freaking decade, dude. That is a long time. It cost upwards of $600 million to develop. They had some contract with the Singapore government where they had to finish it. Everything about this game is whack. It was originally greenlit after AC4 Black Flag. They had a lot of success for that game, obviously. I mean, you guys see how excited I am for Resynced. So they greenlit Skull and Bones, and it doesn't come out until 11 years later. So you're not capitalizing on that initial excitement anymore. And when you do, it's this multiplayer slop game at the worst time to release a multiplayer slop game. I don't know. Nothing about Skull and Bones was exciting to me. I didn't buy it. I kind of wish I would have played it so I could be more honest in my representation here. I am kind of just shitting on it. But I don't care. I have nothing positive to say about that game, and I doubt y'all watching do either. And for a game that costs $600 million, what I just said about your game is not what you want to hear. I mean, that is terrible for Ubisoft. And so when we look at their financials, I mean, their stock is down over 90% over the past 5 years. I found this document on their website where you can see their total headcount is decreasing year over year. Their development investment is decreasing year over year. Their R&D seems to be kind of staying in the same place. But I found a much more important document that shows they had $1 billion loss for 2025, 2026 fiscal year, which is crazy. I mean, that is not what you want to have happening as a corporation or hell, any business at all, whether you're incorporated or not. So that's just a couple of, the easy, quick reasons. I'm sure you could go way more in depth talking about the downside, like the mistakes Ubisoft has made over the past decade or so, but we covered some highlights here. So moving on from the mistakes Ubisoft has made, we all know there's a lot. Let's talk about how even though AC Resynced has me excited, it might have you excited too, how we still need to be cautiously optimistic going into July. Even though it happened a decade ago, they did burn a lot of us with the Watch Dogs E3 reveal. Let's try not to forget that. I think they need this game to be a success more than others because their company is just doing so poorly. And the benefit of that is I think it increases the chances that this will be a pretty solid release, a solid game, like they want to actually do a good job with it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't not wait for a review or something like that, which hopefully most of y'all are going to do, but it's just important to keep in mind because maybe I'm talking to myself here. When I get really excited, I want to buy the game right away. And sometimes I jump the gun, like with Starfield, for example. But hopefully this is not a Starfield situation. Hopefully this is a really good remake, more of an Oblivion remastered, even though that game's not perfect. I think it was pretty solid, at least remaster. That's what I'm hoping for this. And I'm really excited. I can't wait, but we are talking about a Ubisoft game at the end of the day. That comes with Ubisoft risk, and that's important to keep in mind. So I don't burn myself, you don't burn yourself, so we can just try not to be totally let down when this game finally comes out. And that's about it. I guess I just wanted to share that I'm really excited for the new Assassin's Creed Resynced. It does look like a phenomenal game. The problem is it's made by Ubisoft, and there are many troubles they've had over the years. Hopefully this is the game where they can start to make a comeback. I mean, I'm all for it. I love Ubisoft games when they do it right, and I'll be in their corner if they can start to turn things around. But until we see it, let's just have some caution. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.